topic of today's little training before we actually do the distance healing is how to keep your spinner alive. All right, so if you're not completely new to this this event, you'll know that I guide you in a guided, we'll be going into a guided visualization in a little while. And I'll invite you all to do a spinning meditation in your head. And this spinning meditation, you know, why we do it, how we do it, well, how we do it, I'm going to talk a little bit about, but why and why not just sit there and like send light and love and peace to people? Why do we do spinning? That's a different topic. What today I want to do is just talk about how to keep your spinner alive, your relationship with your spinner alive. Sorry, I keep getting a call. All right. So one of the big things with working in the imagination and working through the ethers to do distance healing is to have it be real. And if you do the same thing all the time, it becomes real but dead. If you're just showing up and doing the very same prayer, God bless so-and-so, God bless so-and-so, God bless so-and-so, blah, 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 I don't know, God will probably bless so-and-so, but I'm telling you, it takes it up a notch to have a real living relationship to the spiritual forces that you're asking to cooperate with, to invoke, to manifest, to commune with, to open your heart and your minds to. And I like to think of this spinning meditation, which is a simplified version of what Bill Bengston teaches with rapid image cycling. I keep it simple for the purposes of this group so that beginners can just hop right in and get some healing going. You don't have to study quite so hard before you actually start doing the work. Anyway, I like to think of this spinning meditation as having a certain consciousness, a certain, just like you could say, you know, my cup has a certain consciousness. It's not that it's a person, but it after a while, you know, it takes on an energy that, you know, because it holds my tea every morning and things like that. Our cars have a certain consciousness. Just because you're not an animate object or a living, breathing human being or an animal or a plant doesn't mean you don't have a consciousness. And when we do this spinning meditation, this spinner has a life of its own. We created it. We are its creators because we created it in our imagination. But it does have its own job to do. And I like to anthropomorphize it, which means talk to it like it's a person, and then it talks back to me. And I know that it's not a person, and I can tell the difference. But it's having, just like you might talk to your car, like, come on, baby, let's go. Or you might talk to your, I don't know, any tool that you're using, your computer, like, okay, open up your computer, we're going to write today, or we're going to check our email, or whatever we're going to do. We talk to inanimate objects all the time. And you can talk to the objects that you create in your head too. And I talk, it doesn't necessarily be out loud, but you actually form a relationship with it where you ask it questions and then you expect something different from it. It's as if whatever you're creating with your imagination is being co-created by your supraconscious, by some part of you that you don't really know yet. So you ask it a question and then something occurs to you that you weren't quite aware of before. And so this is very helpful. So one of the ways to keep this relationship with this consciousness very fresh is to change things up all the time. Just like if you always went for coffee on Tuesdays with a certain friend, you probably wouldn't talk about the same thing every day. And you might go to the same place all the time because it was your regular hangout, but you might order different foods. You might, if nothing else, you would be talking about different things, you know, catching up on the latest. The same thing happens with your spinning meditation. You need to keep it fresh. So otherwise it stops really being your friend. And then it's just something you're doing. and it's boring and it doesn't work very well. Okay, now, all right, so the one tip, I can talk for hours and days and things like that, and this is what I do with my private patients. You know, I get inspired all the time about how to create these new living relationships with basically your future free self, symbolized in this glowing spinning orb. Okay, I'm a little bit all over the place, but let's see. Okay. Okay, just a good thing that some people don't think of to work with their spinning disc is that you can actually ask it to change its form. So it might be a little tiny disc, and you could ask, would you like to be big? And it might like to be big. I like to ask it rather than boss it around, because then it like, would you like to be big? It'll get to be very big, and then maybe come back down like, oh, there it is. And I wouldn't have known what size to make it if I didn't invite it to be very big. So it's like a two-way relationship with this spinner. So you can ask it to be a different size. You can also ask it to be a different shape. So the only rule with spinning is that something's going round and round. But if you look at objects, three-dimensional objects that rotate, well, all of life and all of existence rotates. So newsflash, it is really, really many forms of spinning are going around us all the time. But let's say you're pretending like it's like a blender. That's sort of like a tornado, right? A vortex gets small at the beginning. You can have something like that going on. You can have a cylinder, which is more straight-edged. You could have a disc, like a frisbee or something that's just flying around, kind of flat. You can have a sphere, a ball that's rotating, that's spinning and turning at the same time. Maybe you can write down some things here in the chat of some innovative ways that you've thought of rotating, spinning objects. And you can just, if any of you have your favorite one that I haven't mentioned, or that you like one that I mentioned, please feel free to comment. So you can change that up, and it makes it fresh. It's sort of like if you have the analogy of going to coffee with a friend. It's like you don't wear the very same outfit every time. Well, I guess you could, but it's just, you want to change it up, okay? So, yeah, so that's the teaching for today, is to just change the shape and the size of the spinning thing that we're doing, okay? So I often, when we do this visualization, I have us spin a cylinder of light around us. All right, so when we go into our meditation today, I'm going to be asking you to adjust the size of the cylinder, or maybe the tallness of the cylinder. Does it go up miles and miles and miles? Does it just stop right at your head? And the trick to this is to notice what it's doing, not so much tell it what to do. You can offer it, but just notice what your spinning wants to do. And since we're doing this as a group, and the whole point is to establish a group resonance that will enhance the healing of the dear people and pets that have submitted their names and all the others, we want to work as a group. So when we're adjusting our image, we want to adjust it in a way that makes it feel like we're more part of the group rather than less part of the group. So like if I was to go to coffee with a friend and wear a swimming suit, it wouldn't blend in most coffee shops unless I was maybe in Mexico, which is where I am right now. But anyway, right, I can see Mexico out the window practically. You know, like if you're in a beach situation, then doing that. But like if you're like in Maine or something in the winter, and you show up in a bikini to a coffee shop, there's something not, the shape of your outfit doesn't quite fit the environment that you're in. So this is not a new concept. So when you make the shape of your spinning meditation, just notice if it's blending with the others in the group. or if it's, you know, in your face, like I'm going to do it my way, kind of not cooperative, or if it's a very celebration of, yes, I'm here with my beautiful shape and I love all your beautiful shapes. So it's not about conformity, but it is about connection. All right. You're very, very welcome to do it your way, but we are trying to connect so that we can get some people healed and some dogs healed, probably. I don't know if we have cats here or not. All right. All right. So let's do that. If you've been watching this on YouTube, just know that if you want to join us for the actual healing portion of this, that you can just join the Spirit Gate Cancer Support Facebook group. Thank you all for being here, for watching. I love doing this, and it's such a huge contribution just to have your energy here, and I really, really appreciate it. If you want to help me in some other ways, please review my book on Amazon, especially if you've already bought it, because they only let you review it if you've bought it. It costs $4. It's a quick read, and it would help me a lot if you would just post a review on Amazon. And it would help you too, because it would help you internalize the material, like what actually did I get out of reading this book. I think you can read it in a half hour. It's pretty small. Okay. And maybe Cassidy, you can put the link to that book here either now or later. And then, of course, if you want to contribute to the cause in other ways, there's a donate button that I think Cassidy will put either now or later, where you can either buy me a coffee or buy me a yacht. Either's, you know, if you want to do that, that's so appreciated. And then how else? Oh, refer people to me. This is what I do for a living. I do distance healing. I train people how to repetitively cool down hot cancerous tumors, which usually leads to instant pain reduction and often really facilitates longevity. And sometimes I've had quite a few cures. So most people just live longer. Anyway, but the main contribution is that you're here, you're interacting with each other, we're forming this group resonance. So here we go. Here we go.